It's October 6th, 2021. Alright, so now, today, Mullen resigned. I'm also wondering, I heard through a hole in space and time and a connected prior memory of a mention by somebody who I did not understand when they mentioned it, who he was, or I didn't have a photo of him. I still can't read from the photo this morning on the news. I can't recall his facial features and dimension. I just know that he was turkey breast, as opposed for shielded and crested in SBA, which is a London beef eater reference to their royal guard that I saw visually once. They're much more, they're a different type of guard, but there's a lot that goes in the background that I'm unaware of in this position. More importantly, there's a problem with the low-level, even college universities around here. Their mapping of any kind, I thought, was told to humans that if they were going to enhance this educational facility during this mass migration problem and shifting planetary weight in a dangerous manner, because there's weight displacement when you go from a population that's set at a what we call diversity level of which has nothing to do with skin color. This is if it is homogeneous in one area and a protected fortified region. If you all of a sudden have a biodiversity change in ratio, that means there's body displacement onto terra firma, which is what the land is, and then that changes the biometrics of the sphere that's currently holding water and shipping weight and land animals, and there's a system that is trying to catch up with and balance out the shifts and the changes, which is enough when they're not on such a movement schedule. But I work what's called the Oort debris field over here, which is a broken up field, almost like this color change system of moving parts, but on a multiple level tiered system. I have to think about this. Alright, so now today I found out, okay, so we'll go human level. So human level in the local area at, let's say, Nassau Community College, where I went to find out about what a nurse does, and what biomedical microbiology vocabulary lists and so on and so forth, and anatomy and physiology, how they're labeling the human. They're teaching in their biomapping in chemical format. They actually offer, and I was going to take it, but then I decided not to because I didn't want to cross that line and barrier of acceptance of anything. But when you have polypeptide chains of command and you're teaching openly and publicly chemistry, let's call it, organic or inorganic, doesn't matter, they use the symbols H, N, and O. So that's oxygen, hydrogen, and nitrogen in some three-letter strategy in a pentagram, and then there's polypeptide binds. It's almost like a pep rally, right, and then you make a peptide. that's like, and the tide goes again into pressure and barometrics with the intercostals. It's a biometrics thing. So why are you teaching biochemistry to humans in massive quantities in like a peasant land that has no business being in a bioengineering firm or enhancing such skills? It's a twofold process in bioengineering. It's militarized strategy and peace treaty with the humans. And then you bind them with what they agreed to in their own genome and biodome. So now that's one level of why the hell are they teaching oligopeptide, tetrapeptide, there's polypeptide, there's tripeptide, bipeptide. Why on earth are you all allowing this to go into college catalog? Like, these are supposed to be children that are chosen by the high priest and priestess level and then welcomed into that area and taught biomedical ethics and all sorts of stuff for their one area of specialty. Here in America, in North America anyway, they have no bioethics whatsoever. They are letting people move into the area, study anything that they want, and in fact, actually, categorically, there has been no planning. Like when I arrived and my parents arrived, there was no guide or coach. There was no priest or, like, I say high priestess, but that's like when you have, I wouldn't even say coronation, but like a high ceremonial acknowledgement. But same thing with, and here the word priest has become really dirty. The news media has dirtied the word. It's almost not even a respectable profession or word anymore, and I don't know how to transition that after the news media made it so bad. But more importantly, the polypeptide chains and the bonding, some have single bonds, some have dual bonds, some come in a pentagram shape, sometimes it's other shapes depending on what it's a reference to, which, again, why is the public just anybody learning it? And then what kind of jobs are they getting after the fact? Because they just disappear out of public, and I don't know what ratios they're carrying right now, but I can tell you that the weather pattern's not working right. Neither's the anatomy, especially at my level of turkey breast meat. Just saying. I have to think about this. So they're actually militarized, and when I look on Google, because my Google has a painted, approved image on it, with nitrogen, hydrogen, and oxygen, showing the dual and the, it's not a named militarized strategy, however, but it has the white and gray shaded value shade in the background on checkerboard, like this pattern. And then it has the proposed on top of it, but it's not a named set, per se, for the one that I was just looking at to count the sides of what's available to the public, which it shows pentagram, which goes back to Pentagon. I have to think about this. But those peptide strategies, are not talked about in my proximity. I just know things from, we'll call it cosmic nursery, elsewhere. And the other thing is, I talk about, at some point I was able to leave debris field and get to Earth with, we'll call him Special Task Force Mark, KGB Mark, I don't really care, both of them worked for me, for like interview at a table of like, now why do I have to, like, I was totally blindsided and confused. I'm like, why do I have to leave, and what is this? What are they not agreeing on in Humanville? That was 2015. It's 2021. Mark was supposed to, if I was returned to the debris field and waking up with my children in the same Patchogue location house, and Tia Fria was there or wasn't there, didn't matter. Mark was special task force Mark from ATF was supposed, or ATF agreement, was supposed to be able to come to introduce himself face to face and then work on how and what was going to happen next. I'm standing in 2021, and Mark never got to New York. He never got to Long Island, and instead, a whole other set of circumstances unfolded really dangerously. And they still have not been resolved on my end. Not because I don't want to, just because Mark never made his feet to my real proximity after whatever went on in debris field and RUZZLE, RUZZLE. There was a point where he and I also had some kind of doctor that anesthetized us to some level in order to get together so somebody could watch over the clean biogenic copy and have monitor of that, so we could make it from debris field to an Earth-like situation to plan for Special Task Force at ATF to get to me. So this way I could avoid certain death, which is currently the path. It was actually deemed World of Hurt, which is what actually they forced me into. They took Mark away from being able to come get me, and instead I was stuck with Tia Frio and all his bullshit antics, with Lou and Linda fighting over shit, Jay fighting over shit. The three areas that are dead to me, always were, is Lou and Linda, Jason Peter Romer 1976, and Anthony Tiafrio 1975. They are all dead to me. The only thing living in my proximity are the 4 genetic origins that I created in my own biocavity and that I was able to push out and then physically touch, that are not supposed to be radioactive. So now I have 4 of those by 2021, and I was supposed to have Mark, without any questions and any stalls whatsoever, get to New York to protect me and the children from whatever the dead zone had in store or in plan, and whatever was already set in motion that needed to be thwarted. But instead, Mark never got to me. Lou, Linda, and Jay were playing off of one another in some placate of changing radio station dials, and it looks like some video gamers, like, best vengeance and, like, charge for, like, You want to see humans out of control and like trying to negotiate some really like head trips, man? Like some fucking leftover acid trip with a fucking vengeance for shit that didn't really fucking happen, but he's got some seeded memory that it did. One malfunction, trying to program in dysfunction in some totally innocent situation. That's the level of windows in windows, pictures in pictures, and quantum mirror that you're all at, which is why I want a nuclear option. Star 1978, star 8378, Nicole Cattaruzza. I'm in Bayside Station, Bayside, New York, 11361, and it is Earth, Solar System, Milky Way, Universe, Galaxy is broken.